No sound here as well.
Rick.
Yeah, just a second here. I got to restart the share screen because the audio is not coming through properly here.
Okay. We don't see the picture either.
You should be able to see it there now.
We are people listening from every corner of this planet. No knowledge has been dispersed so beautifully, so balanced across the planet, on this planet ever. Maybe in the universe. You have the full potential of achieving everything in the universe. There is no need and there is no reason for man not to achieve. So, wherever you are, the way I taught you to make the coils double coil inside, you have continuous equal gravitational magnetic field, and if you put CO2 on it, and you put zinc on it, you have connected the emotion of the man to it on a stable condition, and you'll find out you become a very peaceful man. Here, instead of having galaxies and universes and creating connection magnetically, we have used the matter state gravitational magnetic field strength to dominate and dictate the shape of the plasma. The nanotechnology, the nanomaterial which you have collectively developed in different ways, by caustic, by electric currents, by whatever, fire or whatever, has that advantage that the matter, the nano, and the plasma
We lost sound.
is very strong.
I'm having some trouble playing the video right now, actually, so just I may have to reset it to get it to go through. Let me try starting. Okay, it's stalling, so hang on a second till I'm going to have to reshare. That's better. I'm just getting audio problems. Okay, let me see if I can get this going again about where it was. Yeah, just hang on a second here. This is having some issues. 1 sec. Try sharing again. Okay, you should be able to see that the volume is quite a bit higher for me.
Now you can create and control the plasma, which is the mother of the creation of the universe. You are given the seed of the essence of the creation. The foundation does not belong to no one and is not made of one anymore. You are developing it. You are structuring it. And from today, we will be still the same. We'll still develop the technology in different names, in different colors, in different nationalities which they do not exist. It is beautiful when we see the Christian, the Muslims, the Jews, and every other belief are working together to build up systems. We have already become one faith. We already have become one nation, and we already become one planet. You got to remember one thing. Dates is irrelevant. Today is the last day of the Christian calendar, or tomorrow is the beginning of another. One day is connected to another. We don't stop. We are working around the clock. The Keshe Foundation team is working irrespective of time, position, religion, country. And now we achieve what we set out for.
Okay, that sounds good, Vince. And okay. Cool. Okay, welcome everyone to the 13th International Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. It is Tuesday, April 12th, 2016, and we're here online with Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute and ready to go with another installment of the International Workshop. I believe Mr. Keshe is on the other line ready to go here. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you available there today?
I know, as usual, whatever. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, that's it. Good day, good morning, good afternoon. Wherever and whenever, as usual, you listen to these knowledge seekers programs. It has been a very interesting time in the past week or two in the development of the technology in a very much international arena. And we will see how we can extend the knowledge in a different way that we can bring in new concepts and new theories and new understanding of the technology. We see people posting more and more data in different ways, what they achieve. And in that process, we see a great improvement and literally leapfrogging the technology by so many different applications and production of different methods to produce the same kind of effects. Oh, Rick jumps on. Okay, Rick, as this is international, and what we've seen is this posting on a plasma lab, Keshe. is from China. We have asked for this to be verified. We have asked for this data which has been sent to us to be checked, and we have asked our Chinese community to check it in the background too, that the data is correct. It seems to be according to what we see, so I think you better take over, Rick, and explain what it is.
Well, so far as I know here, we have Chris Chen from China. He has his own MagRev power unit, and he claims that it shows a 93% power reduction. And he shows the layout of his testing here. Just the configuration with a hair dryer and a heater plugged in to 2 meters, and a 3rd meter from the grid source. And he mentions that's the configuration of the official user's manual. And then he has a video here showing, play part of it. It shows, it's in Chinese, so, and let me make that larger. Oops, I'm not sure if you can see that.
Yeah, that worked good.
Yeah, that's not going to play quite right. You can see he goes through in the video and shows the meters. We can see his unit. It looks something like this. Might be a little hard to see there in that picture. Let me see if I can make it live stream or full screen. I'm not sure if you can see that properly. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best. I think it's taken with a, what do you call it, webcam.
Yeah.
It's a webcam view we get like this.
Or an iPhone, probably vertically. So we can see his homemade unit there, and he takes various tests with each of the meters. It shows the hair dryer running, and it has 1381 watts in that meter. And he shows the heater running. I believe that's the 1421. And shows 112.3 at one point. I think that's the output. And so on. It goes on for about 8 minutes or so, on some are half or 8 minutes. And I'm just trying to see if there's, that's the combination. So it appears that he's showing about 100 watts draw on the main meter from the grid, and yet he's drawing a couple thousand watts there, basically. So he says he's saving 1,785 watts total with that combination between the hair dryer and the heater, which he calculates as a 93% reduction. So that's what needs to be tested, I guess, and collaborated to make sure that or confirmed to make sure that it's correct. So I'm hoping to get Chris Chen. I don't think he's on here right now.
I see him among viewers.
Pardon me?
I see him among viewers.
He's in the viewers?
Yeah.
Well, we can bring him in and see. Did he get brought in, or where is he here? he's as a viewer as Chris Chen.
Yes,
Not seeing a Chris Chen in the viewers.
I see Chris Young. He's at top, raised hand.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, sorry. Okay, let me get him in here.
Yeah, Chris Young says in the chat that this video is by their team member in Taiwan.
Okay. Right. Okay, maybe he can say a little something extra about that. Chris, do you want to speak about that?
Yes, can you hear me?
It's a little weak, but I can hear you.
Okay, how about this? Is it okay?
Do other people hear him okay?
Yes, I hear it.
Okay, good.
Okay, I am Chris Yang, not Chris Chan, but Chris Chan is my colleague, and he is a member of our team, the Plasma Lab team. And this article is written by me, but the video and the power unit is by him. So yeah, is there anything we can help?
Okay, are there any questions? Sorry, let me get my microphone working here.
Chris, could you perhaps discuss a little bit about the construction of the stacker unit? What sort of GANs mixes were used in the construction, etc., please?
Okay, as I know, it is used. It is using crystal, not GANS ball. Yeah, and he filled some GANs inside the crystal. Maybe you can see from the video. And another one thing is that the capacitor that he is making, he is using GANS glue. Not it means that he didn't put too much water. It's more like a glue than GANS water or GANS mixture with water. And yeah, that's what I know. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. And
How long was the conditioning going on until you reached that 93% reduction?
well, as I know, he followed the instruction of the user's manual. So it takes, I think, 21 days to reach it. And he said that after he reached it, and he can just unplug it and plug it again. So after he replug it, it still works. And as I know, it doesn't reach the 93% power reduction in the beginning because as you can see in the video, it shows no power reduction at first when he is just consuming very little electricity, and when he increased the usage of the electricity, which is the hair dryer, and it finally shows more power reduction. That's what we know, and as you can see, yeah, in the video.
Can you tell me or can you ask him why is the increase in reduction because of the crystal, the use of crystal in putting the GANs in?
Yes. Sorry, I don't get your question.
I mean, the increase is the reason for 93% reduction. Do you think is the crystal which you use to fill the GANs in?
Well, I think it's possible. Maybe we can do another one test to compare with it.
This is the crystal in the center of the stacker he's using, am I correct?
Yes, yes. Instead of GANs ball. Yeah.
And is there
In
a,
what way? Just wait. Is that in the GANs is inside the crystal ball, or is the GANs mixed with crystals?
Well, it's not crystal ball. It's a crystal stick, more like a stick or a tube, and it is there is a hole drilled in that crystal, and he fills GANs inside it.
So he did what we said about a few weeks ago to put GANs inside the crystal. So there's a possibility for that. But what I think is the easiest way is to remove that stick and just put a normal GANs ball and see they interact.
Yes, sure.
That could be instantaneous, because if you remove the crystal from the room or the space where the system is, then it does not interact.
Yes, so we can compare with it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We know that Chinese are reporting 80% reduction. We know, yes, we already have confirmation through different Chinese testing. 80 plus has been reached. Nobody has reached 100% except a couple of places in London. But as we know with the London situation, we know exactly why. And the decrease is substantial. We are running a test at the moment. Here, I was explaining before we go online that we're going to check the data further on, and if we are correct, we have reached 80% reduction, but still on a theoretical basis. We got to check, and we will go into detail if we are correct. But here we are nearly 80% reduction. So over 5 or 6 days of test. I was just explaining before we go online. So it'll be nice to know if that crystal is the problem of the change, or is that the solution for the change? Is it? But we got to know what gases are in the crystal too.
Mm-hmm.
so we don't know what GANs are used yet then, as far as the combination in this case.
Yes, I will. Yes, I'll ask him and reply to you later. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
If you can let us know by Thursday. I've got to explain to those of you who listen. We have a major, extremely major breakthrough in the world of the plasma technology. We've gone to the extent that we have no option but to disclose this, the way it's developing, and it is within next week or so, or we most probably by the conference next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday in Dubai, we might release the information. It's a huge development. It's a substantial development that we have to bring it in to be discussed. And it'll be nice to see if we have other people that exponentially reach the results which we are reaching, and the new development which we're going to announce. I have to apologize. I start suffering from hay fever this time of the year, so you hear me blowing my nose quite a lot because I cannot speak. Anything else? Thank you very much. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
If you
well,
let us know,
thank you.
if you let us know by Thursday, because you can just change the center, and immediately you should see the result.
Yes, sure. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're
Anything
welcome.
else, Rick? Do you have any other?
Mr. Keshe, pardon me on that?
Is anybody else or any questions to ask before we start?
I don't have any other shares offhand here, unless there's someone in the panelists now or someone else in the viewers that have something to offer there.
Do we have any questions that we can answer or we start?
Okay, let me see, have a look here. Someone asks, is the Earth involved
In what?
in this system, I guess, but we don't really have the information on that, so.
We don't know. Okay.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes. Who's that?
This is Flint in Florida.
Yes.
Can you give an update on the CO2 GANS trial? I don't see where to sign up or where to get people in.
We are still waiting for our guys in the background to do the legal papers. It was supposed to be. Brad, is it ready to release?
No, it's not ready yet.
When would be ready? Brad is the one who's holding it back.
Probably in a week.
Why that long?
Because certain people are out of town.
Ah, those certain people are too busy. I forgot about that, yeah. Okay, no problem. We have to wait. It's legal paper in using the technology and how it's used. We're opening it once the certain people are back in town, and they can give us the clearance that we can release the paper or the technology that can be used. We have asked support from a number of international organizations, and we are waiting for the response too, because this trial cannot be done without major players are involved, because we need the backing of a couple of big nations to support such a trial, that we can get independent support from the governmental scientists. One thing which you will have noticed, Fabio, do you have the camera there? As you remember, last week we showed you. Can we share the camera, please? You need to go down. Yeah. Hello, can you see the camera? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see, have a good view there now.
Last week we showed you the pen from the Keshe Foundation factory in Italy. We showed you the pad, and this is the new generation of the Keshe Foundation car power unit and the maglev unit. The maglev unit, which is going to be delivered, these are the, as I said, we have made a uniform configuration for all the products. So this is what will be appearing in the shops and retails in Italy and around the world. It's well presented, it carries what it does, and the new generation of the power unit, if we announce on Thursday or in the teaching of the way, is that we will start in the progress of adding 6 more items in next 4 to 6 weeks into the production. There are 6 new more items which are getting added to the structure, and People ask us, can we have pieces or can we have parts that we can do the rest? We're going to break up everything that you can produce anything you like. You can buy all the components as it is. So this is your back on the single camera with multiple
We're
cameras.
getting, it's the camera's a bit fuzzy there right now, Mr. Keshe. So I think we need to tune it in a bit, perhaps to
You
get it.
gotta tune it in. The expert is going to it. Fabio has got glasses, so he doesn't see perfectly. Now Giovanni is fixing it. So these are the kind of things. The what do you call it? The maglev system. They all carry the seal of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. The units are as they're set. The power units are going to be changed. Sorry, the car units are going to be changed in so many ways. They become more effective. And what they've done in the factory, they have extended the wires. These are the new generation which is coming in, where you can even put the what I call the unit in the boot of the car, because some people said, well, can we place it? So you see the new generation coming in, and the process is much more efficient. As I said, if our data confirms in what we are doing is something we knew before, and we can confirm it ourselves here, in the coming more or less days and weeks, in the next 2-3 weeks maximum, SGS certification will be produced for the power units and the car units. The SGS certification means we get it certified by one of the most reputable organizations, certification confirmation, that they will monitor the power of the system in what's the consumption and what's the meter reading, because a number of major corporations would like to start retailing these products, and they need this, that they don't need to have anything they produce with the certification for sale. There are other developments in the production that will change the what you call the application of the technology. What is important is how we teach and how we're going to develop the teaching of the technology worldwide, and how much we can add to the knowledge. One thing which is important for us is that how much more can we learn, and to what extent can we learn in respect to the application of the technology in all sorts of manners. This be it the energy application, this be it the medical application, and everything else. What we are actually coming to is that we started with the nanotechnology and we spread out in different directions. We went to energy, we went to space, we did what we call materials and nanomaterials, some did the farming, and some others did the health. Now we see the divergence. This is what is important. Everything will diverge into one point. In the coming week or two, you will fully understand what we mean. Do you want to move this one out? Just lift it with me to the side. It's good enough. No problem. Just over to the side. That's perfect. So what is going to be important, you want to push it back, is to understand this process. It's where we came in the process of the matter state. We went through the gases and everything else, and now we have come to the final point. We expect to show new technology or new application in the dimensions of this technology. It means from now on, we only deal with plasma. Now that we only deal with plasma and the interaction of the plasma in one state of matter, this is where the change has come. This is more or less, we are on the final leg of the total space technology as far as matter-state interaction of the GANs exists. I will go into detail about this in the next week, 2 weeks, and this is where we'll change the course of the whole development of the Foundation's work. We're going into a very deep understanding that we carry a lot of people with us, that they will bring the change. In next 14 days, expect huge changes on the Keshe Foundation. We will not do it as I or the people on this side of the fence. Is all of you will be asked to join in to change the course. What this means, we introduce a new direction, a new way, which you all know, being with it. But as I said, we all been plasma and nanomaterial producers from the time of the atom, more or less, when we start after what you call it, in every direction we look at. And we're coming to the point that now we are ready for the final push. This will be very important. A lot of you, if we see fit, we try to disclose it this Thursday. If we don't see fit, we will disclose it in the Dubai conference. It's a fundamental change. It's a fundamental change in a way that a lot of you have had a problem in different aspects of this technology with handling the technology. You all could understand part, you could see effect of part, but now we bring it all together in one house. And soon we'll see the change of the course in plasma technology on the way we will disclose. It's just a matter of how we come to an agreement with certain points, and then we'll disclose the next step. But if you go into the literature of teaching from very first days, it's always been in front of you. I always explain it is there, and now you have to see it, that you understand it, and you can apply it to change the whole structure. In the teaching of last week, with what we saw with the different people explaining different applications and hoping to achieve different results, was very important for the change of the course. We've seen doctors and scientists who are building the new medical systems. As I said, it would have taken years to move in such a speed that everybody could understand. But as a large number of people are following the technology, it's becoming very easy because now you add to the knowledge. What happened? What have we seen? In so many ways, when we come to what we call the health application of the technology, what we saw in the health was we always interacted with the what we call matter and a plasma, or matter and a GANS level. But the question we have to ask, do we need to interact at that level? Or do we have the new option of interacting plasma with plasma? I received a text yesterday, and it was fantastic. And I thought, am I going to ask her to come on? But if she's on, Sabrina, who lives in Rome, are you online? Can you put your hand up? Or if you like to be online. I know she listens most of the time. You saw Sabrina in the week of blueprints for MAGRAPH system. She was here as part of a crew, videoing a lot of things. And she made a lot of, you can call her. Ask her, yeah, because you can call her. It's what it is. When we were coming back from Dubai, we stayed in Rome for some work to be done for the embassies for our travels. And we decided we pay Sabrina a visit. And if you get her on the line, she will explain. In meeting with her, I explained to her because she has some health problems, health issues for a long time. And I explained to her because she is not just somebody who is around the foundation. She's one of those women who start making the GaNs and nanomaterials and the coils. And she has started understanding the process for the plasma technology. In our stay, I explained to her the use of what I showed last Thursday. I said to her, I showed her how to make the system where you saw we put the flat system with double ring, where I showed it to you with Giovanni, that how you apply this technology. And then I showed you the double ring, which I explained. You can hold one ring in one hand, and I showed you how to hold it, that you transfer the energy across. And she has made the system herself at home. Can you get her? I'm gonna call her. And she has seen the result. What will be nice for her to tell us what the system she made, which system she made, and how these double ring flat systems have changed her life. We don't know. We put her because she has to explain to us. She will explain to us. And these double coil systems will be as part of the new products which Keshe Foundation will offer worldwide, but we bring a twist into it that allows the transformation to be very rapid. So what it does, as I explained, because I received a couple of communications asking, you went through too fast in my teaching last week. Can you explain more about the application of the new coil setup, the way we showed it last time? You got to understand, if you go back to your maglev system, you have a double ring operation, which means you have a ring which has a gravity in the center and magnetical outside. But as I've explained before, this itself as a setup is part of another setup which itself has both gravitational and magnetical. So what you actually create is an environment here which is exactly replication of the planet Earth. What this means is that the system creates its own gravitational magnetic field effect zone. This is what the difference is. This is how the development changes. This is how we see there is a different interaction. This is how you allow the environment of the whole rings in their gravitational and magnetical. They become magnetical and gravitational, but they are gravitational and magnetical. What does this mean? Is she going online? 10 minutes. Okay, she'll call you. Okay. So what this means is this double ring as magnetical itself, it has a gravitational element to it. This magnetical gravitational in this system has a magnetical link to it. And then what you understand is that these two simultaneously interact in all directions. And this interaction creates a boundary zone. It's not confined because here you have a magnetical adding to a magnetical too, so it's a new size. Here you have a gravitational with a gravitational adding, it's a new size. So now you have created a dynamic interaction of the field of plasma, and this dynamism is not the same as the vibration of electron, that is by movement of the energy. This creates an atmosphere which is plasmatic in structure and behaves as a system which gives and takes. So when you place your hand on the system, if I can put another color, when you put your finger on the system like this, and your hand, the palm of your hand covers like this, now you see the change. You are receiving both from the inner magnetism, gravitational, and in the back end, which is your hand on the back, you're giving it back once it's gone through the cycle of the body of the man. So it's the system, why it's so effective is that itself become a filtering system, because it works in a condition that it gives and it takes. You got to understand the way I showed you, the reason I showed you. Is it possible to ask Caroline to bring those units back up, which is on my table in my office, please? They're showing. You see, the secret in handling these units is not just building it and holding it, in understanding what you hold. We hold the system in the magnetical gravitational in one part, but we hold the gravitational magnetical in totality on the other part. So we create a variation in the depth of the plasma. We create a change in the spectrum of the plasma with the plasma of our own body. The point you got to realize and remember is that the most fundamental part of the whole the structure and use of such a technology is understanding that the body of the man is in a gaseous state and your skin is more or less a plasma which is reduced in the speed to be in a nano condition. Your skin is in a condition of matter nano state, and so your fingers, your skin is a conductor, absorber of the energy of the GANs of the rings. There is no difference between you taking energy to receive what you need in your body and when you plug in into the electricity and you try to use the energy for the house or whatever. So what is important is to understand this fundamental principle, to understand that you, the part of you which is in touch with the system, is an integral and the most important part. I have it there, please. Yeah, just leave it there. It's okay. Is the most important part of the equation. Thank you very much. This is, without it, your nanoparticle of your body is the structure which is needed. We have this one here. I will show it to you. We're talking about this unit. We're talking about the simple double core, double ring maglev system. Giovanni, could you bring the camera focus if it's possible, please? So what we see is this. In holding the system, you create a condition where you allow the nanomaterial of your body, in the GANs of your body, to create a misbalance. Your fingers, each one is separated. They create a division. And secondly, you take more in that direction, so you have a change. So you force the system, as always go back to it, what we saw with 129 maglev system. You create a change. That's why it's not just making it, in understanding how to use it, how to apply it, that it gives you the desired effect. You have to hold these systems in a way that your fingers in the back, if you look at it, your two fingers, if you go back to the other teachings we've done over past years, these two fingers are connected with your emotion. These two fingers are connected with your physicality. And as you see, the physicality is always weaker. The physicality always in a lesser force. You don't have that much energy in this, but you have a lot of energy in these two. So the emotion is predominant. The emotion is the controller. So when you use systems like this, especially you use the hand or your feet, you have to realize one thing. You are bringing, the way I've showed you, you are bringing in the operation of the emotion and physicality into the order where your index creates the disbalance in conditioning to enforce the release of plasma energy. This is why these rings will become part of normal life in the coming time. Because when you carry a system like this, you feed both the emotion and physicality. And with your index right in the center, you create a balance between the two. And at the same time, the gradient extraction here is more than here. It creates a flow which affects in the plasma to be used and in change by another one, on the other hand, to create the atmosphere around you. In a way, it's a plasmatic interaction from one to another. Those of you who will test these things, you will understand fully how powerful this new method of plasma transfer is. It's so powerful that more or less can affect every condition which is psychosomatic, which is in interaction of the physicality in a gas state and emotion in non-tangible gas energy. This is where the change will come. So when we offer you these technologies, and in some cases we fast very quick, assuming that a lot of you understand, now we go into more depth because we have built up a lot of knowledge, but very few have gathered some of it together. The rest are in pieces of information which you need to have, or you think you have, that you can apply it the correct way. In cases of even what you call paralysis, you can use the same understanding. You can use the same process. You can use in trying to make a connection with a physical part while you bringing the emotion into it. Because not all the paralysis, all the handicaps we see are due to physical destruction of anything. It's to do with unbalance between physicality and the emotion. And you bring this in. These double rings are both. If you look at it, here is your emotion, and here is your physicality. You connect the totality together. When I start building these and set up rings, magnets, inside magnets, this is what I set out to do, to create interaction between the physicality and emotion. In understanding the physicality and understanding the emotion. In understanding, you can use the emotion to improve the condition of the physicality. So you satisfy one, and where the two find balance is the reaction of your body in how you will manifest yourself in presence or can show yourself in presence in totality. So the process is very simple. The process is very direct. The process is to deliver energy in a plasmatic form. Does not matter if it's a plant, if it is body, if it's a space, or if it is for production of material. In so many ways, if you understand the totality, which slowly we see some people are catching up and the others in time will understand and will expand the knowledge, we can understand, as I always say, the famous word of Marco, gradient. You create a gradient between the two, you create a gradient between the two. And then as you have your fingers, you create a gradient between each other, which two are your physical and two are emotional. So in every aspect, in every direction, you settle the balance between the two. And this is how we will see the changes to come in. This is how we try to expand. I know you like to write. You better stop. Just put it on the screen. It's good enough. No problem. Yeah? So in so many ways, it's the same with when we showed these systems. On Thursday, I will show you a new dimension in this application. I show you such a powerful system. If we decide to do that, even when, if you remember, in the Sansano, those who were there, I showed how the field expansion is kilometers. We showed that last week with a new system, and we explain a very new, different understanding of it in the coming days. We have made a lot of headway since Thursday. Since Thursday, governments have moved. Governments want to know. Governments want to get involved in understanding what is and what they'll bring. What I'm trying to do in the coming weeks, we bring heads of institutes, leading scientists around the world to discuss, to explain, and to bring different applications of the technology on the table. And gradually, we all learn how this process works. How, step by step, we can break into the, what we call nitty-gritty of the flow of the plasma. When you see a unit, don't look at what that unit can do, look at how it does it, how effectively it does it, and what creates the condition for such an effect. We just seen our Taiwanese friend, very casually, he says he's used crystal in his system. And now we see 93%. If the figures are correct, if the summation is correct, the word is crystal. Go back to around January, December, where I explained you need to use, if you use a crystal power, you have much more effective systems. A lot of people went and they got disappointed and they went back because they couldn't drill a hole in it. Some tried different kind of crystals and some created new crystal structure. Those of you who don't have crystal, those of you who cannot get hold of pure crystal, you can make it yourself. It's very, very easy to make powerful crystals. Crystals so powerful that you'll be shocked in how these crystals work. This is something which in the coming time I will show and I will explain. Some of you who remember remind me on Thursday. And if I don't want to take it on Thursday, ask me again the following Thursday in Dubai. Tell us the secret of the crystal. I'll try to explain. I'll try to expand on the knowledge of the crystals which you all have and you're always blinded to. Giovanni, do you have those pictures of the ice which you made? The ice, the system in the ice with the magnetic fields. You just did the pictures with a pen in the ice.
Yes.
Okay, can you send it to Rick? Because, or we can show it to you on Thursday. What Giovanni has done, do you want to explain what it is that they understand? I give you my thing. Excellent. Pardon?
We have another mic.
Oh, you have another microphone. Okay. So you can go on the other microphone. This is interesting because the way it's done to show the flow of the fields in the health pens. This I will come back to you in a coming time, trying to explain the total understanding of this. Do you have the pictures that you can go up, Wani? Can you send the pictures to Rick?
Yes.
Do you have it with you? Do you have it as well, Fabio? No?
No.
There's a lot of Italian is going on. Yeah? You can do it, yeah. Okay. Would you like to explain what it is, Giovanni, till we can get the pictures?
Yes.
Don't forget,
Good
Giovanni
afternoon.
teaches as well. I'm from the same room. So it's two teachers. He teaches the Italians.
Good afternoon. In Italy, I try to collaborate with some group of research, but because finally I'm really happy of this. They start to understand the importance of technology of Keshe, and so now are interesting and start to collaborate with us. So we have made an experiment where in the first time we put a coil on a water. This water was inside of a crystal glass, and after the water was distillate water, pure, without salt, minerals, so on. After we put this water in the fridge and became ice, but the ice show the magnet of the coils, and it's possible to like an egg of ice inside the ice, and a little small ice, a small line that are the magnetic fields of the coil. So the first time that it's possible to show to the people that there is the magnetic fields. The other experiment that was made yesterday was with the paint pen. We put the paint pen in the same process, and the powerful of the paint pen is so much that broken the glass, the crystal glass, and this was the first time that happening. and all the ice that was inside was completely white for the powerful of the energy. And it's possible to see in the ice all the waves of the magnetic fields.
An email has been sent to you. The pictures are in that email. You can put them up, please. Check your email. Email has been sent to you by Fabio just now. So we can bring the picture up that we can see, please. Fabio.
Yes, now, probably tomorrow or in these days, we make the same thing with the paint pad. Yes, yes, yes. I gave to him yesterday, and I know I hope to have for tomorrow because I gave only yesterday. But the interesting thing.
Who is doing this test? Can you explain? Where?
This with this person.
Yeah.
This is the owner of Natural Pharma. It's a big pharmaceutical company of natural product.
Here in this area?
Yes, yes. No, he have a distribution in Italy, but in other countries too. Africa.
I mean, they're from the south of Italy.
Yes, he lives here.
In Giovinazzo.
I don't know, near Palese.
Palese,
no,
yeah.
no, Bitonto, I know.
Bitonto, yeah, I know who
it's a friend.
Yeah,
yes.
Very nice
very well.
guy. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, yes.
We'll be collaborating with them soon.
Yes, yes.
When you started anyway, but I know. Before Christmas we met them. with the professors from the University of Rome.
Yes.
The dentist, the professor. Yeah.
Yes. And the interesting things is that all can do the same process in a normal freeze with a normal water. So all the people can test it, the power and can see the magnetic field of our device.
How do you do it?
It's simple. It's simple. It's we can do with a plastic bottle. We cut.
Yeah.
We put the water. Upside the water, we can put some line for take with some tape the pen up, and after we put
inside the water. Hanging
no, upside.
Outside.
Yes, there is a picture after we can see. We have the glass of the bottle, and upside there is the pen that don't touch.
Above it.
Above, yes.
Oh, you're trying to get the picture of. No.
Okay.
The pen is with me.
I've got a picture of the unit in the freezer, it looks like it. Can you see that on the screen share?
He's trying to get it.
This is can be in Hino. There is no problem. This is a bottle with water. The pen. These are two pieces of plastic with the tape, and so there is a projection of magnetic field in the water. When freeze this, we can see the waves of the magnetic fields and the power of the magnetic fields, because it became all white. The glass usually is not white. Probably I think that the white is deuterium, because the energy is so much that hydrogen of the water it's pressed and became deuterium. That is more energy in this way in the glass. But there is other picture. If you want, this is
There's
another
another picture. It's the ice.
Yes, we've got one with the bottles
Yes,
split in half.
it's very simple to do. This kind of picture was made in this way for show to the people that it's possible to do with a normal fridge or normal freezer in house without problem, so everyone can see the effect. So we made this now in the lab. If you see here, there is the wave of magnetic field. It's clear, and this part it's all white for the energy that was put inside. But it is another one that with the glass, crystal glass, that show very well the waves and the broken glass.
But it's never done this before.
What?
Never has broken the glass. The ice.
No, because it's possible. It's a big glass of crystal, and the water. It's possible they go up because the glass was open. It's not closed. This is strange. And he said that was the first time that happened. I was very surprised because it's powerful, the pen, real.
But in one of the pictures, we can see the flow of the fields.
Yes, there are other pictures.
Rick, have you got a picture which is totally an ice block, and you see like a cracks into the ice?
Yes, this one.
I know what you mean, Mr. Keshe. I know what you mean. I've seen that picture somewhere. It was sent to me, but of all the pictures, of the 10 pictures that were just sent, I don't see that same block that shows the bubbles going through or the particles going through it. Do you know where that picture is, Giovanni? We've got some other pictures of ice and so on.
Can we look
After
at
this one, probably.
After this one, probably.
Yes. This is
well,
water. This is
those are the pictures that just came through. There's
it's an ice block.
no. This one is the water. Only the water, distillate water in the glass. Now it's this is freeze, but they put inside a plastic box because the crystal glass was broken. Yes, you can see inside the line of the ice, and here it's possible to make bigger. It starts to see some line that are the magnetic field. You see this line? There are 4 lines. I can see here very well. That line are the magnetic field.
There's a one-side view one, which is clearly shows.
Yes, there is here too. Look, all this line. These are the magnetic field too. Yes, here the same. Look, here too.
yeah, we're still missing that one picture that's it shows the whole block sideways with the bubbles in it. Do you know where that picture is, Giovanni? Can that one be sent to me?
The bubble is the coil. It's necessary that you search the first picture that have the coil with a green cover.
Where is that picture?
Fabio knows where it is. He's sending it to you.
Good.
You cannot show what you haven't received, so just
Yes.
be patient. See, this is important because in so many ways, we don't need complicated, sophisticated system
Yes.
to determine the flow of the fields, and their compactness and their openness dictates or tells us how strong the system is. And you don't need to actually merge your material in the system. You can do the same thing with the GANs. Make a bag of GANs and put it on top and see how the ice shows itself. This is a part of the science which you can explore and expand. You can make a reference point from the same distance from ice, be it a new pen, old pen. You can say how stronger it is, how weaker it is,
Yes.
how much energy you release or you receive from it.
Mr. Keshe, this is Sylvester Belser from Global Manufacturing. Back in November, we had the meeting when Alex showed the cup which trained modified the water itself, and we had the discussions that in Japan, Masaru Emoto's son, Hiromasu Emoto, with the Hado Institute, continuing the work of his father. And his father worked very deeply with water and water crystal understanding. A few days ago, I was able to put together a meeting with Hiromasu Emoto, the head of Hado Institute, who revealed me that one of his close friends also used the Magrav unit, and he himself know your achievements of Keshe technology, and he welcomed the corporations or the type of work which can reveal more understanding of the Magrav technology, the Magrav units and the Keshe technology, and how the water can reveal more of these secrets. So this is beautiful what I see right now. And I'm planning to put together a meeting with you, sir, and with the head of Hado Institute, so this cooperation of research and work can continue.
Yeah, we have another image here that was just sent to me, but it's not the one that shows the. It's a similar picture to this one, but it's more clear, that shows the actual particles in the block. The block sideways. I'm not sure where I've seen that before, but it was sent to me at one point. If we could get that picture, that would be best, Fabio. Maybe Giovanni can direct that a bit. There's one more picture, Giovanni. That was a really clear one. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, probably Fabio have sent it to you. I check one moment.
Giovanni, you know Masaru Emoto work on water crystals and message of water and things like that.
Yes, I know what picture. No, c'è un'altra lì. Ma questa mi hanno mostrato. Vabbè. No, sulla mia posta di andare. C'era un'altra con le cose. C'erano quelli dell'ultima lezione. Ce l'ho disegnato tu. No, l'avevo cancellato. C'è un'altra che mi ha mandato a Keshe 2 giorni fa, non quella di oggi, che c'è il tappo verde con l'erba ancora. Sì. One moment, because now Fabio started to send to you the email with the coil, and I do this because a lot of person and the new researchers, new people, new distributor, new person that are interested to set up a farm of this kind of product, asked to me to find a proof, like something that we can show for explain the magnetic field and for show that it's possible that this force can be applied, exist, how big are, and so on. For this reason, I move in this direction, and another thing that I do is to collect some testimonial for example, of recovery or analysis and so on, that I put in the website foundation to show that, for example, the pen, this one that is. Yes, there is, before there is another one.
Yes, this was the one that I was interested in showing, that really shows the, you can really see the field effect here.
Yes, upside there is the coil, above there is the coil, and this is there is no contact between the coil and the ice, and this is if you look, there is a central part that it's like half egg. If you can see, there is a very special part that is like probably the gravitational power.
Bring it here, work here.
And there is another one. Yes, you can. And here, there is all the line of magnetic fields. This is a special water because it's distillate water that adds the process of distillation 2 times. So it's pure. When the water is pure, it's possible to see so well. But there is nothing else inside, nothing, only big distillated water. And this is the crystal that with the pen, it's broken. You can see that how thin is the crystal. It's too big. So it's very good to see this color image because show very well.
Yeah, it looks like a very dense central core that it's formed over there. Very energetic in the center, very dense.
Why is it magnetic and not?
You see the flow of the field.
What magnetic? The coil?
The flow of the field, if you don't see it, is very much South Pole, or if you look at it, it's very much North Pole, depends how you look at it. But it's very homogenized. And here we have no lines. It's like that the field force comes in and dictates and directs itself. This will be very, very effective in the coming teachings, in the coming time, that we can actually dictate the shape and the fields which are created by the systems you make. In a way, if you start taking measurements of the lines and the way they are compacted, we can gradually measure the strength of our own systems. So it's a tool, but it's very effective if the next level will be that we can measure the fields themselves, the lines, and then find out how good they are, how strong the system is.
Mr. Keshe, would this be magnetic fields or maggrav fields, or what do you think we're actually measuring here?
Pardon?
Would this be considered magnetic fields, magnetical, or maggrav, or magnetic and gravitational?
This is magnetic and gravitational.
Okay.
Because the system absorbs. When I saw these pictures about a week ago, it was very, very interesting how the water crystals form themselves in the shape of the field. Can we say that the field forces of the pen interacts with the total structure of every single atom, every single molecule? Or is it itself an interaction of field forces? Is it itself a combination of the interaction of field forces? The structure will explain a lot, because you got to really get close to these pictures and really see that in the angle you're looking at the same thing. These dots here have a motion. They have a reality of the fields going inside. It's not just a dot. It's like if you look at from this angle, you see the same lines. It's a three-dimensional structure. How the fields interact, how the fields release themselves or they absorb from their environment. Because if you look at it in so many ways, these fields is coming through the pen. It's the interaction of the fields of the pen. So they are coming from above as much as they are going to the above point. You got it. Okay. Okay. So what is important? The pen is hanging here. Well, let me do it. No, you have to allow me to use the option, please. Rick?
You want me to stop the share, Mr. Keshe?
No, I'm trying to show the option. I'm trying to get the option, but I can't get the option.
Here's the other picture with the pen.
Yeah. Yeah. Is your microphone open? No. It's on the screen.
One whiteboard, one year.
One whiteboard, 1 year.
Whiteboard 01.
Whiteboard 01. What? You better speak. Open your board and speak. Open your microphone. What? Make it a full screen. Can you make it a full screen? Yeah, okay, it's done now. Now can you open your, see, the way it is, this is the pen. Yeah, we can go brighter. The green, okay. This is the pen here. And then the field forces interact in both ways. You have both magnetical and gravitational. So what we see in the lines of crystal is both. Because we don't know which one is magnetical, which one is gravitational. And this is the process which is going on. And what Giovanni was just trying to explain is that they have measured the electric current on the water, and it's about 5 volts electricity. But don't forget that the pen is not touching the water at all.
And that one is distillate water.
Pardon?
It's distillate
And it's
water.
distilled water.
There is no salt.
And there is no salt in it. So this is the step-by-step development of how in totality we can start measuring. It's a very good advertising for a paint pen in the back.
Yes, sure.
They can freeze you. But this we've seen yesterday. Yesterday I was in the factory of the Keshe Foundation in the north of Italy, and the response which is taken by the workers and people there is their family have used the pens and the pads. It's amazing. They just they worship the thing in a way, because this was amazing seeing workers being proud of what they're producing, because they use it themselves, their families use it. It's not that they're just going to a factory to make a chocolate or going to factory make some brick. They literally use this daily. One of them was telling me, my mother has a very bad hip pain, and he's learned the name of Mr. Keshe, because the minute she wears it, there is no hip pain. Automatically the belt goes, because the flow is both gravitational and magnetical. The flow is more in understanding the totality in every direction. It's not one way. And in so many ways, we will introduce a new dimension, as I said, into the teachings in the coming weeks, that will take us one step closer to the totality. We might announce it a major breakthrough for the world of science. We might bring major nuclear countries on the line to test these for us at the edge of science. In a way, the collaboration goes with the governments at very high levels, that they have facilities to check a lot of things for us from now on, if we manage to, what you call, sign the last dotted lines. Then we can, there are machines, there are facilities which we can measure the field of the plasma totally in a way, and in measuring the field of the plasma will allow us to see which way the plasma flows, the fields through the plasma flows. These kind of machines are not in the hand of public or private institutes. These are in the hand of major world, governments. And if we manage to come to an agreement and conclusion, you will see this. We can measure these things very accurately. Very accurately. As one of the, major most important scientists we know said, is the logo of the Keshe Foundation is getting a lot of trust, because it's delivering what it says, and it's delivering what it's supposed to do in its structure. Now you have the pen. This water is your body. You can see how the field flows in and outside your body. With the eyes we saw, it shows the flow is in every direction, and it interacts with the totality. So if this is your knee, if this is your arm, you see it's not one pointed. The block of ice shows you it brings balance to a total area. This is what, if you go back from the very beginning, we explained that when you point a pen, let's choose another color. When you point a pen, it brings balance to what you put under it, and we see it. It covers everything. It covers to bring balance the field, And the beauty with this is when you look at the lines in the ice, they're more or less all homogeneous. You don't see big cracks. You don't see huge cracks going to one side. They're all homogeneous, which means the fields are in balance. The field's gravitational magnetic field is total balance because this is distilled water. What happens if we put, let's say, piece of orange in here? How would the fields will show? How the fields will manifest themselves? I'm sure a lot of us have freezers in the house which can do this. We can put the whole pen in the freezer and watch the floor and then put an orange, an olive, a piece of meat, a piece of liver, and see how the field changes. What is absorbed? Which way? Do these kind of technologies will give us the indication for the source or the reason or the changes in the organ. This is the plasma condition. This is the change in understanding the plasma, in trying to now define it, trying to show is not just a pen, but these pictures become important. Gradually puts data, feeling, understanding, visuality to how the field in a thing flows, in a system has, in a magnetic system has. It'll be very interesting for those of you who have access to different kind of measuring system to start taking picture of the magnetic gravitational field of like maggraph systems to see how the picture is. What about if what we saw with Ali or with Jackie or other people, by putting one of these cameras and moving the system, we see the maximum power, where the visuality will come. Where would we be able to see physically where the connection lines are? This is as part of the structure. This is as part of understanding. This is knowing how you direct fields. In so many ways, over years, people like me and other scientists who work on these kind of things, we get a feeling, we get an understanding for the field flow. We don't need to measure. We just know. It's the instinct to know this. The fields here will behave like this. This is how, initially, we start building the first plasma reactors for the health too, by measuring the feeling of how the strength, the potential, the observation of the motion of the field gave us a direction in how to proceed, how to go, how to dictate the changes and bring into operation new understanding. There is not a problem in changing. The problem is understanding the change. Understanding how much each field will bring, what does it do, and how does it interact. You saw the two rings, and you saw the hand. To you was just a hand holding a ring. But to me, who designed it, who especially developed it and tested it, is a normal process. Nowadays, with the rings, we can put the fields in to build the physical order of things like a double core in a solid magnet is a huge job. Now I don't need to build it. I can go to it. But if you look, if some of the reactors which we have put out over years, you find in my design, I've repeated this many times. Can I have my screen back, please? Can I have the wide screen, please? if you look into some of the reactors which are built over the years, you see a magnetic ring inside another magnetic ring. And this is the body of the ring. This is not the first time. You will see, even during the teachings here, I sometimes used to and show I have very tiny magnets. I have 3 different sizes of magnets to become the inner ring when I want to connect the physicality with emotion. I've shown it to you. It's very, very tiny magnets in Trani. I showed it a few times how little tiny magnets are very, very tip of a finger size with a big magnet. This is how I put, if you want, how you connect it, where you put it in the structure. The position of this little magnet here is totally different there in respect to another magnet which you put across the cup. Every design, every positioning, how you position it, the magnets you use was calculated so immaculate, but by feeling, by knowing this is what you want to create. Now we have the rings. We make these rings and we can change the parameters very willy-nilly, very randomly. These are not something which has just happened and just going from one thing to another. These are what has been tested for years, 12, 15 years. Every combination, every possible GANs, matter state, combination of the two in receiving huge amount of energy and knowing that this is what you want to receive. As Giovanni said, the glass shattered and never happened before. You feel these so many times. I used to come out of the lab and feel the pain. Plasma, I've told Caroline many times, you don't want to feel the pain of the plasma. It gives you a physical burn if it is a huge release. But the plasma burn usually within 48 hours disappears. Doesn't matter how big it is. Unless you don't know how to do it when you bring it to the matter state. So you have to go into the depth of understanding step by step now than just making systems. Just randomly building systems and hoping to give something. We see if our Taiwanese friend can bring and change the crystal and report to us a different result. To show us how the energy has changed. To show us if we use another material, and then if the answer is correct, and by removing the crystal GANs from the center, we get a different result, then it goes back into the teaching of around Christmas, when we explain, if you use a crystal, this is what's going to give you. And if you remember, a lot of you went and tried to find crystals to make systems. But again, one of the most important things which a lot of you have seen it and you've ignored is the reality of one fact. Let's take your Magra power unit. This is your system. These are your loads, whatever you added to it, into your plug, into your meter, and you connected it to whatever load. This is the way you look at it. This is not the way I look at it. To me, this is not the way it works. Well, it'll be interesting in coming time. You will see this. The interaction between these and the demand is where the electricity will be produced. But you still look or a condition that you can enforce the electron formation. That's why when you use these systems, we tell you it goes through nano coating the wires and the rest. In fact, your system over years will nano coat the whole of your house. Every element in it, which is brick, mortar, cables, wires, crystal chandelier, they all get affected. Go back to something very interesting. Go back into around December, November time. A lot of people start reporting black spots near the light on the ceiling in their houses. And it just disappeared. Nobody talked about it anymore. But how do you think these interactions came about? You are nano-coating the materials in the house, gradually, gradually. A lot of people. We saw a large number of people reporting, and I received a few emails. Can you explain to us why, where the light bulb hangs, we have black spots start seeing? Nowhere else, just near the light. And they have a maggraph system, they have other systems near in the room. You start understanding that the systems create environmental plasma, not line of plasma. You will start from the line, but then it goes into environmental. And then the plasma will touch anywhere where the two fields move, where the two fields interact. And that energy release is very much the way you nano-coat your material. It goes black. We've seen this, so now slowly you understand. You were concerned about the heaters and the fridge. Now, because this field is balanced, you will find a lot of people are reporting peaceful behavior in the house where the maggraph systems are used. Because it's gravitational magnetical, is affecting, receiving, nourishing the lackage and the shortages which are in the physical and emotional part of the house. And you're part of it. You're no different than the wire. You saw it with the eyes. That eyes, that ice block, that ice body, that body of the content of material, which is the water. You are 75, 80% water. And you are in the line of the fields of the plasma. Totally balanced. Totally in line and in tune with the rest of the environment of the house. One of the questionnaires we'll set out in the coming months for the people who bought the maggraph system. We are not going to ask you, can you please tell us about what's your bill reduction? We ask you, what is the emotional state of the house? If you see difference in the emotion, has the atmosphere of the house changed? Because this is the way our environment affects us. How did we become Chinese? How did we become short? How did we become tall? Due to these balances. These maggraph systems send out a balanced field because through the structure that built to do this, you have 3 layers, total balance. If one is short, the other one feeds. And if one is short, the other one feeds. The field is absolutely totally balanced. As I showed in the last drawing, you have magnetic fields, which then themselves are magnetic fields, and then themselves they are coiled, each winding brings balance. It's such a fine-tuned balance system, a spectrum, that one way or another, what you need, you receive. So you will understand in the coming time, we treat you the same as you treated us. We give to you as you gave us. You give to the system as much as you receive to the system. Otherwise, if you come to the point that you cannot receive, you cannot give. And you're dynamic, you think, you walk, you have a heartbeat. So you are a continuous demand on the system. You have become the thumb on your MAGRAPH system plasma. What will be interesting is what is the behavior of your neighbors? How do they change in respect to you, or would you able to change them? If you are a black man in the center of London, in Tottenham, and you put a system in your house and you have a bunch of white people around you, would they change towards you? Would you change if you're a white man in center of Chelsea and you have Arab neighbors? By using the system, you change. They change. The changes are fundamental. Now that we start explaining more and more in detail, if, let's say, two houses apart, each one use one MAGRAPH system each, the balance between the two, does it bring balance with the neighbor in the middle too? 100% it will. He will change, no doubt. So you understand that these new technology systems, these plasma technologies, are social structure changes. You saw, you put 3 or 4 of them in a combination and you can feel the barrier. Now you have another one, another 10 kilometers, 100 kilometers away, and will interact. It'll be very interesting to put these things in the football grounds and see how the behavior of the football supporters change. While they're in, or do they carry it with them outside? The changes is not just in a matter state. The locking is to the emotion. And that's where the problem for a lot of people who promote separation and prejudices will have a problem with this, because now you're all tapping into the same structure through the same system. As I said, in the coming time, when thousands of units are connected, are we going to see a change of behavior in Italy? Now we start manufacturing here. We're creating huge number of units. In April production, we reached the April-May production, we reached 10,000 to 15,000. In June, we go to 50,000 because the structure base is done. And then, if we put the way now the sales team has put together in Italy, and it's going to start growing, and we start getting orders in, and everybody around Italy buys, all manufactured in one place, spread around the whole island, as I call it, connected in one end. Do the behavior of Italian start changing? Do we become that? And I'll tell you one thing, not 99%, 100%, it will change. So it's the same. Now it's not a pen which affects the flow through the balance of the whole emotion of the ice or the water. Now that ice block, that entity as one, is Italy. Or would we start getting interactions with the systems in Germany which are going into manufacturing? And then we see the changes which are about to come in. The production of these units in Arizona starts in next week or so. So the Americans are coming in the production line. Would we feel the same because we all use the same copper? And The basis of the release is the copper. How important the changes will be, we will see in a couple of years maximum. We will see the interaction in a couple of years maximum time. Any questions? Silence. Have you managed to get Sabrina? She's got a problem. Okay. Are there any questions?
I'll remind people that are viewers that you can raise your hand. I can promote you to a panelist so that you can speak. And the panelists that are here, you can speak too by unmuting your microphone and asking a question as appropriate. Okay, we have someone, Mark, who's raised his hand. Promote him to panelist. Maybe he has something to say. Hello, Mark. Did you want to say something there? If you unmute your microphone.
Yes.
Hi.
Would the plasmatic field due to the copper harm any plants?
No. This is the beauty of it. You only take what you need. Don't forget, plants are us, even us as human body being. What air we breathe in, we don't take energy from, we don't take all the energy from every atom of oxygen, nitrogen, or whatever we inhale. We release those which have no value to us. This is the beauty with the understanding of the plasma, that you only take what is at your strength and the amount you need, because when you saturated the, what I call the honey pot, you don't need, there's no overflow because you cannot hold on to. So harming or changing is impossibility. If you absorb it, it means you needed it to satisfy something. It's very much like, sorry, just let me add to knowledge that you understand more of it. It's very much as I always say, you breathe air into your lung and you energize your blood. And the first place the energy goes to from the lung is into the heart. Do we see the heart growing every time because so much energy going through it? No. And the lung takes, the heart takes what they need from the environment and what it needs from the blood. The rest is released or is available to the others. It's impossibility unless you specifically design certain ways to do things to damage anyone with these systems. It's absolute impossibility because if you don't need it, it's not taken. Any other question?
Hi, Mr. Keshe. There is a question for someone who wants the link to apply for the international clinical trial for CO2. Is that available?
Yes, as we said, go to the Keshe Foundation donation and donate the funds, which we said €120 per person for 2 packs. And then, as Brad said, they are still doing it. You put in there for clinical trial CO2, and when the agreements are drawn, I mean, it's nearly finished. It's just that legally have to be checked is correct. Then you'll be sent a link to what you call to start joining, and then we give you the time of the delivery and the date of delivery for the materials. We're working on the background. There's huge development on every aspect of the technology. Tomorrow morning I should be receiving some news, which, if we are allowed, we share with you. And this is how it is. You can join today. Just put on your request, like you said, I want a MacGraph, blah, 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 or whatever. You put in there donation for being part of the clinical trial for CO2. We need huge amount of it. I have approached two major governments through the structures we have access to join us on this. If we get a positive, we will only carry the results. Even while you send your results, it will go into the structure of the scientists at the highest level in what they call it, in scientific organization, governmental scientific organization, to look at the data with us. We are not giving them everything. What goes on the website, they're allowed to, or we requested them to come in and take the data and let them tell us what they see that we don't see. You can enroll, you can put your name down today. And we're getting ready for it. It's just that there's the legal section has to be completed. And that's all it is, that you volunteer. Is the modification of the form which we gave to the people who volunteered for the medical application in the past 10 years. But now it's been changed into taking the lotion and the capsules and the eye drops. As I said, I volunteered myself as one of the users of the eye drops due to the eye degeneration I have. So I'm already on the list when it comes into, and I'll pay my 120 euro. I have no problem, hopefully, to be accepted. But it's part of the structure. We have to do.
Mr. Keshe, there's a comment in the live stream from Yasmin. He says, "Hi everybody from Sugarland, Texas, where we are using the pen to balance a high blood pressure to my husband. The first lecture was high, the second was low, the next was less higher. This is somebody who is using it to lower blood pressure." It's just a comment in the live stream.
Can she come online to explain to me what it means in a physical life, lower or higher? What difference does it make?
I'm not sure if we can get them online. I'll put in the, I'll remind them of the Zoom chat number in the live stream, and perhaps she can get onto the Zoom, or he or she. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Keshe at this point?
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes.
Hi, this is Emilio from Taiwan. I have a question about my car power unit that I installed.
Yeah.
I made my own power unit as per the way you taught, and I installed it on a 10-ish-year-old van. The van is a stick shift, and it has horrible gas mileage. Right now, I can't tell if I have any improvements on that, but what I have found is that the horsepower is a lot stronger. The engine is very quiet, and I seem to have better control over the car. But what I cannot understand is I've noticed when the full moon is out, the car rides very well. Or even when it's at night, the car rides very well. But in the daytime, the car doesn't ride well. And I wonder if that has anything to do with the plasmatic pull and push of the moon. And I'd like if you can explain more on this.
We have a man, I think, who can explain to you very easily. Wernie, are you somewhere in the background?
Yes, Mr. Keshe, I'm here.
Now you can. I should tell you, Wernie is one of the speakers in the conference next week, and he's well versed with these things. Would you like to explain to us why this could be happening?
Yes, I also experienced the same thing with my car, and this time, as we know, during hot weather or during noon time, car doesn't run well. But because of this MagGrav system, or because we are able to tap the plasma, yes, we can experience a different experience than before, that our cars will run much better during sunny days and even when the moon is up. And at night time, of course, it will run better at night time because we have moisture in the air. I believe our systems is also tapping energy from our environment. Yes, we experienced this even before we have this configuration like the MagGrav. Even before, we're just using simple coils. We experienced this, that when our car is running beside a bigger truck or a bigger vehicle, when we are beside with this energy, I would say everything is energy, with this bigger volume object beside us, when we're running together side by side, our car will run much better. So we are tapping into the energy of the environment using this. The MagGrav units we have is our interface to the energy around us. This is how I can explain it. Since we are now able to tap this energy through this MagGrav, it is no coincidence that they will run great in every time when there is a huge body around us. Like what you described, when the moon is up, yes, the moon is an energy entity also. So when the moon is up, it contributes also. Somehow it connects.
I was thinking about this, and I have an idea. I have no idea if this is right, but I thought perhaps the moon is giving off a lot of magnetic energy towards the Earth because Earth's gravity is pulling the moon. And since Renan has said that the front of the car, after we install a power unit, is gravitational. And so I was wondering perhaps it's the moon's magnetical pull and the gravitational pull will become a spiral, if you will, that is a more complete plasma field. I don't know if that's the case, but that's the only explanation I have. Yes, go ahead.
The motion of energy are always in, there's no straight line, and motions are always in a curve, and everything is in spiral. So, yeah, you're right with your understanding. You're correct. And because we have this interface to our matter state units like the car, the electrical units, we have our interface already, which is the nanomaterial that we have as we nano-coated the coils. Yes, we are now able to tap this energy. In fact, energy around us that it connects to our system. Yes, we are using it. What is happening right there in your car is in constant communication with the energy around it.
Do you feel that your car drives smoother?
Yes, I do. I find it to be very, very tranquil would be the word I would use. It's very quiet.
Do you feel it drives lighter?
Yes, I do. But on freeways, when I'm going at about 100 kilometers an hour, it does not feel lighter. It actually feels closer to the ground. Not physically, but it feels like it's very stable and as if the car would actually be lower. but it's not.
Have you, how have you connected your system?
I have connected it to the battery, to the engine, and to the grounding point. I believe it's the second way to connect in the blueprint.
Mr. Verny, can you explain to him how it's done, which way it's done?
Yeah, he have the same connection like I did in my car. You pass it through. You put your grounding on the engine, right?
I'm sorry?
The maggrav, you connected it on the engine.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's good. Before it reaches to the ground of the battery, it passes through the engine. So the flow is through the engine. So the engine is affected because of this. It will search for the ground, which is sitting there in the battery, but you passes it through since the ground of the battery is connected to the engine body also. So that's a good setup.
Thank you.
Why doesn't he see reduction in the fuel where we see with others?
Yes, we lack the energy source that is always there, which we will release later. When we have tested, Mr. Kesh, that when we add GANs, not the GANs that we coat on the coils, but GANs as a separate container.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
That's where we get the consistent source of energy.
Yeah. But what is interesting, yesterday in the factory, we solved a lot of problem in understanding why some systems give 40%, some system gives 60%, some systems gives 20%. It's a conclusion with it is how you nanocode, how you GANs code your system will affect in a very large degree the way the outcome of the system is. And it's very easy to see when you see, because they're producing like, I don't know, there were 2,000 units going through the production. I was looking at yesterday. Even the way the workers wind the systems, it feels that the intention is in the system. It's a very strange feeling till you're not there and you see so hundreds and hundreds of coils are in the process of getting made every day. The production capacity of one person is about 100 units a day, and there's so many of them sitting around the table and chatting and making these and system, because you cannot do it. It's not a machine made, it's a handmade system. I was standing and thinking, do these people pass their emotion to the systems they build? Does the emotion and the feeling affects who gets it and how the system will behave? Because now we enter the position of physical interaction.
Yes, Mr. Kesh, the driver himself can affect the performance of our units. It is true. On some research where they were able to tap the energy, they were not able to identify it as a plasma, but they were able. This is around 2006 or before that. This group of people were able to tap the energy, and they call it the Y factor. They call it the Y factor, that when someone who doesn't understand or who doesn't believe or who contradicts to the system or would say something that is against the system will not work. They have experienced it. They have experienced this. I myself have experienced this. And only this time, with this knowledge you shared to us, that we're able to understand why. Simply because we are now dealing with a plasma that ourselves is a plasma, and we interact with other plasma systems.
Very interesting. I'll tell you what has come. The way I tell you, things happen in a strange way. As you remember, on a Thursday last week, we called on governments to participate in development of the technology, and a very strange phenomena is rising. And that is, if you remember in the ambassador meeting, because now that we've gone into mass production in a very large way, in the coming days and weeks, we start distributing power units to Palestinians and to the African nations and around Italy the way we see it. A percentage of the units has been set for that, and now we have perfected the condition. And what is reason is that why are we giving it to the Palestinians, and why don't we give some units to the Jews in Israel? That we create peace through the interaction of the systems. This is exactly what you're talking about. It affects the environment. What about if we send 100 units into Palestine and 100 units into Israel and let them switch the machines up? They're happy they're receiving free energy, but we are happy that we're in balance between the two nations in their emotion. This is how we interact. This is how we work. A lot of people don't know or don't realize how we set up the structure of the Keshe Foundation, how it works. We look at the way to harmonize both the physical and emotional. I received a communication. How come you're helping so much the Africans, and what about us here, for example, in Italy or whatever? We're all got to be the same. We do, but we don't talk about. We support in so many ways different people in different ways to bring both balance in emotion and physicality. We don't go and drum about it because we understand at the end the two will balance themselves. We had a couple, a Spanish couple with us here. What was their name? Andrea and Elena. The two Spanish Italians, they came here last term. They could afford paying one fee. I gave them a gift, 6,000 euro for the other one. And on top of it, we gave them 1,000 euro per month from the foundation for their living to support them. It means while they were here, they didn't have to work nighttime or do something else or worry about being here educated. They were paid and they were given a free place where we give access to Budu. The same, if you look at it, is supporting 100 Africans to 1 European. Giving 1,000 euro for them to live and giving a 6,000 euro free tuition. We don't one shot now, but we do these things that in the future they become part of the structure, that they are balanced with themselves. When they make a move to come here to do things or want to educate, we support everywhere. We don't look at the color and race. So this is not that we make differences, but we bring the balance to our action. In the background, we work that way. We see things, we give things. But can we bring the balance between the emotionality and the physicality? Did we go back and ask them because they decided they want to go back? We gave the money back to their tuition back, and plus we didn't ask for the money that they've been paid 5,000 or 6,000 euro from the foundation to live. We leave it to them. They have to live with theirs, and then in time they'll be promoting their own soul. In the future, they carry the knowledge. The same we do with the Africans and the others. We are setting examples. We are not making differences. We are not going to make differences. We bring balance in the peace amongst the men. So it's the same. Our behavior is no different than the power units. We covered a lot, and this is what we got to learn. Up to now, as I said, when you go to the system to be fed, we go and take, can I have something from the system? But we said you go and give, that if you take only what you need because you have given, you emptied the cup, but the cup has a room to fill in. We have to bring these structures and understand it. Does the moon has that effect on us? Why do we change? Or as we say, the hormone changes and we change. Can we become the hormone of the human race to give that the others will find a place peaceful for them to live, and we bring as a hormone, a balance in the whole structure of the mankind? This is where the changes will come. Do you, very interesting position, if ask the question about, you say, I put the system in my car and I feel at night it feels different. But have you ever asked yourself a simple question? You're driving this car amongst people. You're driving this car in the society, in populations, and does your system affect them? Shall we carry these units, not even using it in our car for the energy, just to create a peaceful balance in the society? If a moon from such a distance can affect such a little thing in the back of your car, in a hidden box, that you can feel its effect, can you imagine what your system is doing to the man who's walking next to you, or the car which is driving next to you? Do you interact with the system through your car with the guy next door? Do we need, like what we have? This is one of the things which some research is done, but a depth of it we do not know, because they stop it because there's too much disturbing information in there. Has the human race in the past 10 years, 15 years, has changed due to the communication masks which is put around the cities? We are receiving so much energy which wasn't there, so much information which is useless to us, we're not taking it up, but the guy next door to us is picking it up. Is that affecting our behavior? Is that affecting our emotion? We don't consider. Have you seen? It's very ridiculous. You walk and there are about 10 people walking next to each other and behind each other. They all have a mobile phone. They're all talking on a mobile phone, and they've got nothing to do with each other. They just passes by in the tunnel of life. What about one of the 10 who's talking? The field doesn't go to him, zoom like a beam. It goes through other 9 too to get to him. Is that 9 fields from the other 9 using their mobile phone is interacting with the body of the man? So if that's the case, which is the case, what and how can we change using these plasmas? These plasma reactors will give and take. In the case of the mobile phone, you are continuously on the receiving end, and in different fields and motions you go. What about if you're walking down the road, the guy next to you is talking to somebody on the mobile phone with anger? Does the voice which goes down the phone affects your emotion? Because you are receiving it. Doesn't matter, you don't hear it, but that emotion is carried down the line in the field. Are we getting affected? Or maybe with these units we put across the environment in your back of your car, as is affected by moon, we start affecting the others. Shall we sell these units into the public, that they make it themselves, with the idea of the sale point, bring peace to your nation? Shall we each one carry one in our pocket? Shall we make a pocket-size Maghreb units, we call them peace units? And you carry
Mr.
those.
Keshe, you've got the pens, and I've got Yasmin, who mentioned using the pen for her husband and so on for high blood pressure and that. Perhaps we can hear from her. She's a female from Sugar Land, Texas.
Yes, Sugar Land, Texas.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Keshe and everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. My husband has been with high blood pressure for several months. We have all the registers, and he has been tested by a doctor. And we start to using the pen yesterday as using the food diagram, and then we test the regular pressure was 147 dash 93. In the first test we did with the pen, the low pressure went down 167 to 97 dash 97.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, was 196 dash 97. Well, I mean that when we did the first using the pen was so high.
Before you use the pen or after?
The first time we use it, like the first treatment, like the first treatment, and also I have the pictures with the measure. Let me show you.
People take us to our home. They trust us that much.
You will see the Hawass.
Can you bring it up that we can see it? You see the picture yourself. We don't see it.
No. I'm going to put in the image. Then you will see it. Everybody will see without pen. Okay, it's just hold on, please. Just hold on.
Just calm down. Just take your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the first one. This is his regular pressure, blood pressure.
14/8.
142/83 was he can do less than this, always in 140. In the first treatment with the pen, we got 165. 92.
It's gone up.
Very, very high, and was just 3 minutes.
Yeah.
We did in the two finger. Well, I don't know the name in English.
The thumb.
In the thumb, right. After that, the pressure went down to 130. But the funny thing, I couldn't take it. Well, the equipment, the display was black. I couldn't take it immediately, but was 130. So it was like the half of what we tasted. Then in the third treatment, we got 143.94, and the last treatment we got 148-92. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
And but what's funny when I didn't mention that. I just realized when you talk something about the plasma or the plaque thing. When I was the one who was putting the pen. I saw like a hole. In the first treatment, I saw like a hole in his skin, but I was thinking maybe it was my eyes or I was tired. But when I was just taking the time and rereading the blueprint that somebody in the school has, then I saw a blue light in the area where my husband was, because he was laid down on the bed. But was with my narrow eye. But when I was doing the directly and focus and thinking in his benefit and his health, also I felt the pain. The first time I also felt the pain, like a connection. But I saw this black or gray energy, like the whole, as you explained, or maybe it's something different. But maybe you can tell me more. But this is what we were doing yesterday for his high blood pressure. He also has record in his phone all the pressure for 3 months. So we want to start to improve his health with the pen.
But do you see, you're hoping, or do you think you can achieve it, or have you achieved anything yet in one day?
I think, well, I was very excited that I could solve the second going down very fast. I really believe that. Because this, I have seen all this, all what you have been doing, and makes sense everything you have said. I mean, well, what I in my mind can understand, but to me it was amazing to have a communication with the pen. I was kind of a skeptic. I was believing, but until as a scientist, as a mind scientist, you always want to see if it works. So the pen, I feel, because in the protocol you have the blueprint says that you need to test it in your hand first, and I feel the energy. Also, with my son today, I just put close the pen to him, and he woke up like fussy and crying, but now he's very happy and give me kisses. I am thinking it's happening. And also when we build it, as you said, it's bring us like together, a togetherness, because we build the pen together, and we bought materials, we talk with our friends. Heather, that is the one that invited us, Heather Bryant, and I think it's bring us peace as a family.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, it'll be nice if you can come back in a few days or weeks, tell us what is the outcome of the use. What will be interesting for the people who use these pens is you have lost the reality about the pen. You're looking at the tip, but if you just hold the pen in your hand, because of its structure, it gives you more and it takes more to bring you balance. The tip of the pen is for localized. You can just hold the pen and the pen brings you a lot of balance. This is what it is. A lot of people just look at the tip. This is what I'm going to put on the pen. But the energy of these pens is like holding that maggraph system which I showed. You can hold it and it brings you peace. You can hold it for 10 minutes, 5 minutes and put it down. And you hold it back again in 10 or 15 minutes or next hour or 2 or 3 times a day. It takes what you don't need. Don't forget, we keep on saying 80% of the energy you absorb comes from your environment. But at the same time, you can't absorb 80% if you don't put 85% into the environment. Because part of the we eat food is to subsidize what we put extra into the environment too. That's what we generate heating in respect to our environment. So if people start now understanding the next step, that these pens, the ones you made and the way you use it, you're looking for the energy at the tip. What about the energy of his self? It is a system. Very simple. Very simple. But so you got to start learning how to use these systems as totality, not just when there is a pain. You want a peace, you want to be peaceful. You feel an energy in your body which is not there, or you want to be there. Just hold the pen 2 times a day. Becomes by the way you hold toothbrush or you hold the pen. Do that.
Mr. Keshe, can I make a question?
Yeah.
When I was doing the acupressure, or I feel also like has something pointed. As you see, is not pointed. I got like yes, something with point, and as you see, is not has not pointed. What is that? Is energy or is?
It's energy. We've seen it in the ice block, which is shown. Can I ask you what you do? You said you're a scientist or you're a housewife scientist, the new generation of scientists?
I am the new generation of scientists. I am a housewife, and I am yes.
We call you Mrs. Professor Penn.
Yes, yes, and I really want something better for my son and the peace of humanity. I believe so. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bring back to us, let us know more what you're learning, and we'll see what we go. But don't rely, especially with the high blood pressure, to hold the pen at a specific point.
Oh, okay.
You can hold the pen and you still transfer the energy in and out. You don't need to pinpoint it. It'll be very nice. It'll be very nice. I'll give you a tip I gave somebody else recently.
Okay.
Give the pen to him, make a salt water, and keep the tip of the pen in the salt water and let him hold. It literally drains the energy which is surplus the body wants to find balance with. You might find a very good result with the blood pressure.
Wow.
This is what we do. If you noticed last Thursday, where we saw the doctor from Mexico building the system, he was showing us, he showed you a bucket of salt where the energy is dumped. You have in the house a cup of salt. Make a cup of salt. While you're holding these pens, just tip the tip into the salt water. In dumping, if there is no energy, you see, you have to understand what the high blood pressure is. I've explained this a lot of time. In our body, the length of the blood vessels are fixed, and the amount of the blood in these blood vessels are fixed. You cannot change it. We are born with it. At any age, we produce certain amount of blood, and the blood vessels is like pipelines. You can't extend it by 2 meters extra if you are under pressure. So the emotional feeling, which is radiated from the emotional part of the body of the man, in radiating out, interacts with the metal components or semi-metals, or with the plasma within the blood, which is partially to do with emotion and exchange with physicality. So it becomes like a heating. It expands the volume of the liquid part. In a way, expands the separation of the plasma inside the blood vessels. And then that creates a pressure, because the volume is fixed. The pipe size is the only thing which can go up from the radiation, from the stress, from the emotion. is to the expand of the, what do you call it, blood vessels. So high blood pressure is connected with the emotion which interacts with physicality. So if you dump the energy which you collect through the pen into a dumper, which the salt water is one of the best, would you release the energy, you get a better results than just putting a pen on certain point on the finger. Now you use the whole totality of it. This is what we said. Now that a lot of people are making a lot of things, we start going into depth, more detail, what it is, how it can be used. It's not just keep on creating pens and doing things and say it does this, I did this and that. Holding a pen the way you do it, you transfer the energy which you want the balance in your emotion and physicality. Let him hold the pen and put it in the salt water. A glass of salt water is good enough. If you have one of these lead blocks, you know, you go to the garage to balance your tire, the other piece of lead usually to balance it. If you have those and put it in a cup and just in a salt water cup and let it be, because lead absorbs energy. That's why we have problem with a lot of people with a high lead content environment, because it takes a lot of energy. When it takes energy, you deplete from the energy of the environment. So start using these pens the way gradually they are meant to, not just by the pinpoint. It's not the acupuncture, it's the totality of emotion from your hand.
Mr. Keshe, I want to ask you another question. In this area that we live, is what they call season allergy. That in this
what?
Season allergy, and
Yeah.
everybody feels, including me, my husband, very. But a lot of people we know, even in the school of my son, everybody has this constipation and also weakness in the body. It's like you have like a flu, but you don't have the flu. And can we use also the pen for that?
Is that the hay fever that you were speaking of, Mr. Kesh?
Well,
Yeah, it's seasonal. It comes with, it's not a hay fever. It somehow comes with usually it starts around first, second week of April and it goes to beginning of June, mid-June. It's with pollen increase in the environment. I suffer from it heavily. It depends on a time of the year, but usually it starts with a very heavy cold and then it goes like this for about 3-4 weeks and then disappears overnight. It's to do with the stress balance, the body trying to change from the winter to the summer season more than anything else. We see, this is what I think, but because it doesn't matter where you are, you're in an office, suddenly it comes, you're sitting in the car, suddenly it's there. It's not that you pass through summer and the pollens are there. And it just comes and goes according to the change of the stress. It's like what I said here in Italy, where we are. We're coming into April, May. They call it a sleepy grip month because out of nowhere you just fall asleep. Rest of the year doesn't happen. Just this time, the Italians tell you, am I correct? You go call it a sleeping time.
Yes.
During the day, you just fall asleep.
Yes, I want to sleep very, very much.
So try, one thing will be interesting to expand on the knowledge is make 2 of these pens
Okay.
and hold one in one hand and one in the other. And put one of the pens into a salt water that you absorb, you create a misbalance that the energy has to go through your body. This is exactly what I showed with the system which was shown at the beginning of the teaching today. You create a difference by dumping, and then the energy from one pen has to come across the body to the other, plus the environment which is within it. So you might get a better result because cholesterol and high blood pressure are literally what we haven't put a name to it, but in reality it's a psychosomatic. It's the emotion which manifests itself in physicality. What we call the high blood pressure, and we walk off. But if you understand the principle behind it, how it happens, the way it interacts with this environment, and what you take from the environment, then you understand very easily high blood pressure, especially is a psychosomatic. There is no other thing for it. You can reduce the salt, you can reduce everything, but you don't solve it. But if you sort out the problem psychologically, you find that it disappears overnight.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Very much. Thank you. Rick, do you see a name Sabrina in the background? Sabrina, if you
I believe.
can you let her speak, please? She's the lady who's used the rings. I want to know how she's done it because I was with her 2 weeks ago in Rome.
Okay.
And she's done that, please.
Go ahead.
Hi, Sabrina.
Sorry, Mr. Keshe, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
I'll unmute her. Here. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Hello?
Hi, Sabrina. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, tell us what you've done and if you've seen anything positive.
Okay, well, can I share a screen to show you?
Yes.
You can set up what you'd like to share. You set up what you'd like to share first, and then click on the share screen button, the green button on the bottom of the Zoom.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll share first the design that you drew for me. Is not.
We can't see it. We need to.
Okay, I'll cue you up. I clicked on share screen.
Okay, then you select which window you'd like to share.
She's got the camera.
The camera.
Oh, you just want to start your camera. Okay, let me, sorry, let me do things differently here then.
Start video. Is it that one?
No, you see a camera, you got to click on it.
I have to.
Rick has to give you permission.
There we go.
There
Now
we can see you.
Yeah, we're good now.
Hi, we can see you. Don't come too close to the camera. We can see your face. You got to go down a bit. You only see.
These are the ones that you. They're being prepared. The one that you designed for me. I don't know if I can pull them up separately. But my gravitational ones were too big, so I chose to not do it horizontally.
You did it with an angle in the plasma condition.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, and I've got a nano-coated long wire.
You done the way I drew for you on the paper.
Yeah,
how to
how you do. But a friend of mine that helped me do the twists of the magnetical and gravitational beat me to it, and he made me a box, and I've been using it now for 3 days.
Okay.
And I'm having incredible.
Move the camera up a bit that we can see you. You don't need to bend. Yeah, that's better.
I'm having an incredible relationship with this active one that's already attached in the electricity with a LED light. I don't know if I can move the computer to show you.
How does it interact with you? What do you feel?
I'll tell you the effects. Okay. So the effect.
What was your problem first?
So I have rheumatoid arthritis for the last 7 years, diagnosed through rheuma tests, Valeros, various numbers of blood tests. Basically, you have like pains that go like a toothache, like a really decaying tooth for the last 2 months, using the CO2 pain pads, I decided to throw away all my medicine. So I was in a very bad way. Every day, more pain, like my knees had gone, my right hand couldn't close, and my left foot was in a very, very painful, like decaying teeth kind of pain. I used them, as you said, to put like my fingers on the gravitational, and this one on the magnetical, and very strong energy, very clear, strong energy entered in, like especially through my right arm, my shoulder, and moved quantities of things in a very, very positive way. I did it twice on this first day. It has CO2. And then I went out. And it's actually when you go out that you understand the effects. Because what had been crippling pain, like I couldn't open a bottle of water, I was suddenly with so much energy, but not adrenaline energy, just positive, healthy energy that went past my hands. And so the pain was a small little pain, and very, I recognized myself after a very long time. In the morning, I do still have some pain, never as bad. It doesn't go to the tooth decay level, but it's still there. So I'm doing it like twice a day.
For how long are you doing it?
About 20 minutes each time. Like it calls me. I have it on all day, all night. Like sometimes I don't want to, be there all day doing this. Or like I have a kind of like a big emotion that doesn't want to change or something like this. And I live in the countryside, and even like somehow in nature yesterday, I was going into the woods, and there was a very strange kind of light effect behind me, like the white of an egg, very shining, like it's surreal. I couldn't understand what it was, but it was like my window was close by, like in nature. I was in my car, so I had like the spiral in the car. I don't know, some strong light effect. But genuinely, my energy is mine, and emotionally going very, very deep. Like the deepest of my old self, like when I was healthy, very present. Yeah.
But you got to use this over, the illness came over years.
Yes.
It's not going to go away in one go. One of the things you have to do is, after a while, you have to change the load on your system.
Okay. Now I have a LED of 4 kilowatts on.
Kilowatt or 4 watt?
Or 4 watts, sorry.
4 watt. If you had 4 kilowatt, the house would have been boiling. The point is that when you feel a balance, you change the load. You increase the load, you reduce the load. That different strength fields goes into the structure of the transformation of the plasma. You control the field flow through your load, not through, as you do with electric current with a thermostat at the beginning.
Okay.
You decide if you drain more or you want to allow more to stay. Because the source is the same. It's what you drain creates a different environment. So use a 6 watt light next time, or 10 watt light, and then you see if you feel better with a higher light consumption. If you go like a 12 watt or a 16 LED, or when you go lower, and then change it every time, because your body fixes one section, you have to fix the other energy balances.
Right.
Control it with the outside, not the inside. But if I ask you a question, how does it feel compared to 3 days ago when you started it?
I mean, incredible, because I was like because I stopped using cortisone, the pain was like, I don't know, 3 days ago, my knees, I couldn't even stand up properly. I mean, it was just getting worse and worse. And now I'm, you know, I can stomp my feet. You know, I can go in garden or I can do whatever I want. Like, but I still feel I have to, you know, really concentrate that I'm doing this, because as soon as I forget about it. But the other incredible thing is I was in the car like the first day. It was the most successful day, like completely pain-free and with so much energy. There was one element that was different, which was I used an indigenous ointment from Colombia that has an ancient one made with coca leaves and marijuana. And I don't know if that was an extra benefit that came. I had it as an ointment on me. When I used to use that ointment on its own, it would, you know, dull the pain a bit. It didn't take it away. But I don't know. I the first day I had a day of like total health and well-being.
But you got to change the light.
Okay.
You have to get one of these stickers which has 4 or 5 entry, and just add one light to it or 2 lights to it and change it. Just plug in and plug out. That the balance is done more or less the first 10 seconds. Body takes whatever it needs in that balance. The rest is processed off with reprocessing itself. You have a lot of bone bits hanging on your ankles or your knees or your wrists through the arthritis. What will be interesting to see if these deformities go away or they reduce in pain or size.
Like this, like I don't know if you can see, I'm sort of like here, this one, I couldn't close my hand 3 days ago, this finger, but now I can close it. I couldn't pick up a bowl of pasta because it was like a needle here. That's gone. You know, it's like the debilitating of, you know, you just feel weaker and weaker and you don't really want to interact. That went the first day, and the pain is just slumbering pain. But like to become totally healed, how many months do you think I need to do this?
Carry on till you find a balance, because this illness, especially arthritis, these systems are gift for the people with this problem.
Right.
That's why when I was with you, I recommended to use it because I know what it does. And if you use it in the long term, it changes. It resets the body, the bone structure, more or less to its original condition. Your bone structure goes back to when you were 18, 20 years old. It does that, but it takes time. You've seen it. You've seen the changes. As you know, you said you couldn't close your finger 3 days ago. So you have to, these things take 3 to 6 months to become embedded in RNA. Because these systems not only change the DNA, it changes the RNA and embeds RNA to its original condition. So emotion and the information of the emotion changes the physicality on the DNA. And it has to be embedded. You don't embed it within days or hours.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how you feel in about a month time, in 2 months time, if you sit and run a marathon. I give you a tip, which is very important, especially with your feet. If you be careful and structure yourself in a way that, as I explained to you when I was with you, you can put this the way you held it in your hand, sit on a chair and put your feet on it, the same, left foot and the right foot.
Okay.
The process will go the same. It will go through the body feeling and start resetting everything.
Do I still kind of use like the big toe as the finger?
More or less, you can't do that, but you can just put it on your foot, or you can put it under your foot, and be careful you don't scratch the material. This is the problem.
Do I need to recover it occasionally?
It'll be good if you're using it, yes.
but like with a spray or like with a
No,
CO2?
just the best way to do really nano coating these things is to make a composite of guns which cools down with or with,
Hands that what?
with the guns which you produced with some small amount of added caustic and the sugar, which sticks the nanomaterial, the guns, and the caustic to the layer, and the layer continues to build its own self up. Because where you keep these things is a moisture. So very, very, very small amount of caustic. You don't feel it when you touch it, but it's a strong, effective enough for the layers to be produced. We do this in all the MAGRAF systems. But make sure when you do that, then you give it a wash that the caustic is gone. Leave it for about 2 or 3 hours. Let the layers build and just give it a small wash that is dry, man. Has to be dry totally.
So when I make these ones that I'm making, like, and I'll make it closer to your design, like these ones. Yeah. Shall I do this
Like
with
that,
plastic
yeah,
CO2?
yeah. So you just be careful. You don't need to nano coat, but if you see any scratches or whatever, you'll find out after a few days they disappear because the nanomaterials is a process. It'll build itself back on again. One of the best ways, because when you made them, most probably you didn't clean them totally. You can't never clean them off all the caustic. But for example, if you leave it in a moist area, if you leave systems like this in a bathroom where you take a shower and it's moist, you will see the layers will start building back up very quickly.
Okay.
So they repair themselves. Or you can do it with a guns and a little bit of caustic into the process that you feed it and you repair itself. That's why I gave you this system in Rome, is because it works. This is a gift for people with joint and arthritis. We are launching this as part of the medical system from the factory in the coming weeks. So people like you can actually purchase it and change their life. You just walk on. The body, the muscles.
Do you think it will change the blood tests as well, like in a few months?
100% yes.
Okay, so I will keep. I had a blood test like a few weeks ago, so it will be interesting to, use my case as a case for.
If you can, the way we ask for people like you to do is to choose a certain date a month, like I said, the 5th of each month, and take your blood test 5th of each month, or every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, that we see the changes. We see which way it's going and what changes. But you will see 100% changes in the blood, and you start living totally different. And I didn't build the system, you build it yourself. So your emotion carries with it, and it carries a lot in that changes. It's nice to see you smiling after a long time.
Yeah, no, it's easy to smile when you don't have pain. It's nice. Really, thank you so much. There's just two questions. Like, I remember when you told me the feet.
Yeah.
The moment you said you can do feet and hands, like on the same side.
No, you don't. Try not to do it yet.
No. I'm working with a crystal in between that's gathering the plasma. So when I have to do my, is that too powerful?
It's too powerful.
Better not for now.
Not at the moment, because you have to understand the process has to be slow. You don't hammer it. You do it with a hammer. Slowly, slowly. When you push, you don't allow the repairs to do naturally. You override a lot of things. It's got to be very, very slow. It's the way the process of the body is. You can't go with a hammer. You got to allow it in a very slow way that the repairs are done. You change the condition, but it takes days for the poison and the residual material, which is not needed, to be taken away with by the body. Is you release, but the body is still sending information which creates that kind of extra ganses which are not needed, which become pain, not to come in, and you have to take those away. It takes about 7 to 14 days that every time you release poison or what you call extra energy out of your body to be taken away by the body in full. So you'll see a permanent changes in about a month, 2 months time. And it'll be nice to see if your bone structure changes, which means the body is not depositing anymore.
Right.
But it's good to see you without the pain, or at least less.
Like already, like my foot for a month, my left foot, like my toes were going a bit like this, and the bone under was getting bigger, so it really hurt. Like every time, like as if you have a pebble in your shoe or something, and that went the first day, and I could stomp my foot, but like the energy of healing is like it's bigger than your body and it's full of energy. And therefore the pain seems something very small and it's not attached to the emotion. Like it's shifting my emotional and giving me stability. Even if my environment, someone goes crazy in my environment, my reactions are very different.
In what way?
It's my own safeguard, like other strategies or something. Anyway, I thank you very much.
You're welcome. I hope it helps. We'll talk to you later on in a few weeks' time to see how it develops. But try to get the blood results that we can see physical changes.
Okay. Well, I'll try and do one monthly. I'm going to see the an official rheumatologist on next Monday.
Uh-huh.
So I can, he has to declare whether I have rheumatology so I can have free blood tests.
Uh-huh.
And
Now
because
you're using the system, you change it, he'll tell you you don't have, what are you going to do?
well, I still, like, for me, I have to get rid of the pain and get all my emotions in order so I'm not wasting my life. Like, it still gives you...
No, I said, if you go on Monday, when you go on Monday to the doctor to measure, and you've been using the system and you have changed the condition, it says you don't have one, what are you going to do? I had one till last week.
No, but like I did my blood test 2 weeks ago, and what's supposed to be 15 is like 276, or what's supposed to be 5 is 70. So I have like the 4 markers of rheumatology in my blood test that I did weeks ago. I'm just bringing them to him to see. And then he can see in 6 months if it's completely changed. He becomes a witness to this.
But it's a scientific data.
Yeah, it's scientific, like blood tests with numbers. Already taken a week or so ago.
That's fantastic.
Just bringing that to him.
Wish you all the best. Next time when we are Rome, we'll talk.
Okay. Oh, in Dubai.
I received your text while I was going on board. I said, but I'm going through when you were texting to me. It was nice to hear. It was going to the factory in the airport, receiving this information for me was a gift. It was a purpose to go to the factory.
Really, such a gift.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Sabrina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, indeed. Thank you. What it is, you got to go into the depth of understanding the technology, and that is, in a way, we do not change. The body takes what it needs. If the desire, the emotion to achieve painless or even a condition that you want it to be achieved, you achieve it because you dictate the balance. It's you who dictates what I call the benchmark of the energy. I want to change my life. These systems will bring that kind of thing. You see it. It's just holding a system the way I explained to you. We did with the guy in Dubai with the cancer. Instantaneous pain release is the beauty of these systems. But if you use it in a in a manner which is built to be used to be in synchronized motion with your body, then you will understand the changes. They come very rapidly. When you hold these rings in your hand with your finger, the way you create the balance is literally holding hundreds of pens with you. Because every point of touch, contact, every single ring is one pen, is one gravitational magnetical. If you look at it in so many ways, you have what we've done is this. What we've done is, if this is the finger, if this is your finger, your thumb, and if these are your fingers, and then you have the rings, but don't forget, these rings, if you look at it, they're double, and they have so many rings on them. If you look at it in the structure, every single one of these contacts is one pen. That's why they're so effective. The whole structure is a complete hundreds of pins directly in touch. So you receive and you give in the balanced motion of the body. So when you have, let's say, the coil here in your hand, and if you want to look at it the other way, that's the gravitational. If I put the magnetical on it, the magnetical, you have 140 or let's say 80 rings. And then you have the other one, which is your magnetical ring here. Then here you have, look what happens. You have here all these rings. So you see how many pins inside this is the gravitational ring. You're taking and giving a different strength. So that's why they work. There's a spectrum of, like you make 88 pins inside and 144 pins outside. And each one with different strength. That's why they're very extremely effective. This process of using the plasmas is very effective. In the next process, if you want to develop understanding of a real going into the plasmatic condition, where you make your rings like this, you have a gravitational and a magnetical ring like this. If you make your ring big enough that you can put your finger or your hand here in the center of the ring, you will see totally different effect. In a way, if you look at it, if I turn this on its side and you can place your finger inside the ring, you absorb the plasmatic energy full spectrum. This is what we slowly start teaching you. When we start going into it, you interact with the plasma, which means you centralize it. It's for the first time you can go in. Here is different. The plasma is flat. The double twisted cores, where I explain you in all the teachings that when we see in the medical, I say you interact with the plasma of this. If you put your finger or your thumb, you depends. You want to change in emotion, or you want to change your physicality, or you want the two to be. You can center your finger in this center. You will find a totally different experience. Totally different experience. Because in a way, if you look at it, you go into the center of the gravitational magnetic field of the structure. As I said, we thought the basic. Now we go into the depth to learn more for different application. What about if, in a coming time, one of you builds a ring big enough that we can put you in there and you can stand in the center? And then you find a peace, emotion, and physicality together at the same time. Because you are in the center, you are in the plasma where the balance is. In the coming time, we show you how to use this. I've developed a technology, as I said, in the coming weeks, maybe this week, maybe next week, we will announce it. And you'll find you can walk away with any disease instantaneously. This is how you change yourself in space. We had to come the way that a lot of people understand. Somebody wrote to me, "You're asking for 50,000 euro for my wife. She got a lung cancer. Can you help us? I cannot afford it." I wrote to him, "Our process is free. You donate to the foundation if you think it helps you. We do not ask for you to pay to the foundation to recover. We ask to have a condition that we have the means to pay our researchers and our people that they can carry on with the process of the work, but we supply our own. You don't pay us, we don't ask you to pay by money. What we ask you is to pay by your emotion, to pay us that we can use it to elevate our energies, that we can help more people." You will understand in the coming time, these are the only ways in a space we can help each other. We don't give each other, "Come and take my life." I can't give you a spare lung, but I can give from my emotion to yours that elevates yours, that you can support the heart change you need. It's a long way. Man who's got a long way to understand the truth about his own process of change by himself. So, in a simple way, you can walk into a plasma system where you want to be in balance yourself. And you'll find peace and the balance inside it. How big do you want to make it? But you have to make a double ring, and it has to be in totality. The next step of development in the reactor cores will be a single core. A single core sits in the center, where you take from these what you need, and what you do not need, you give here to be dispersed for the others to use. Very simple. In the coming days and coming weeks, we go into a very deep understanding of the total, and then we are ready for what you would like to do, whatever you wish with. A flight system, a feeding system, all will be all in one.
Mr. Keshe, there's a question regarding earlier you stated to not touch the nano-coated materials. What about this now with the system that is supposed to be touched by the skin? Is that the idea with these coils, and why the difference?
The process, these coils are all gas coated. These coils, we transport them with CO2 to energize them. And secondly, we had to put a word of caution that people don't do stupid things. We always teach according to level we can go to the next. These systems are built and gas coated. None of them are nano coated. It's a big difference. We don't allow you to touch gas. We told you don't touch gas. We don't tell you do not do this and that. Now that the technology and the people's understanding has gone to the point they understand. You saw the amount of opposition which was running around, orchestrated through Antwerp. We already see it today. You've seen. They have the run of the mill. They all like to do whatever they like, and they're given a free land to run. Now, hundreds of thousands of people do. We can allow you to do, but we guide you the way you do it. As I said, in the coming days, we will break a massive new technology, which you've all been told, but you ignored. And then you say the guy goes somewhere else and take us somewhere else. No, these are part of the jigsaw we have to complete to get to the final point. You got to understand, we have hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people who listen to these teachings. And each one take from it what they understand. And now we have taught enough that we're going to the stage of totally different direction, in a very powerful direction. And as I said, last week, we showed this armband. A lot of you saw this, but in the coming days, we're going to show this in a different way, application of this. This has shaken the back of the government since last Thursday. A lot of military defense companies are on the run to find out how they can still keep silent about this, but they still can sell the bottom stock. I was told by a friend of ours, close, somebody we are associated, but we know that the space organizations, aircraft manufacturers are dumping prices since last week. They don't think many people have listened, but they know very soon they cancel all these fighter jets built and a store to be built. We start seeing cancellation in the war machines, especially drones and aircrafts. We have hit, literally last week, last Thursday, we have shaken the backbone of military equipment manufacturing. They are dumping, since last week, they start dumping drones. You can buy a drone more or less 30% below price at the moment. If you negotiate, they can even give it to you 50% below. You do not understand the amount of traffic we create. It raises questions for governments why, and they listen. We will give you a statistic. We can ask somebody to go to one of the military command suppliers and buy you a drone for a few, very, very few $1,000s very soon. They have a lot of surplus, but they don't tell you you can capture it. A child of 10 can build a system which can capture it. This is the change. This is how we'll bring the change. And we show you the steps. The next step of development in space technology will come. We have no choice. We're in a position that we have to teach it. I've referred to it in the Sensano, and when I tell you what I did in the Sensano, and you can go on the recordings, then you say, the guy could have told us last year, why did he bring us so much after 2 years here? Because you did not understand the basic. You did not understand the totality. Now you understand the piece of jigsaw puzzle. We have a huge audience of military governmental people who listen to every word in these teachings because they know the change will come. But I inform you, we don't want anymore. There is a huge development. In a way, whatever you learned is all coming to one pot. Because we did not understand totally all of it, because it was there from the beginning. We're bringing a totality to what you had, but nobody ever tried. But in all the teachings, for months, for years, I refer to it, but now it is there. And those who say, he comes and learns, I can show you papers and documents going back to 1985 in what I'm going to teach you in the coming days. For 30 years, the technology has been kept. is not something which comes and take from somebody and learns. I have to take you the way I want to the point where I want you to be. And now we are in that point. We are in that juncture to be able to take you to the final point, more or less give you a free run for life. A lot of things will change. A lot of things, because a number of people have come up to it. At the moment, I'm securing governmental guarantees, and when I receive the governmental guarantees, we go public with it. And I'll tell you one thing, you can buy the most advanced boats on the seas for a few dollars.
Mr. Keshe, Heather Bryant wanted to show something here. She has to leave soon. I know we want to wrap up the workshop soon too. I'm wondering if it's appropriate to show. She has some pictures to show and some questions. She's about to mail her research packets to her group. They're going to be working with her health products that are developed from Keshe Foundation input. So maybe we can have a look at that.
Yes, go ahead. I will say goodbye.
Okay, great. Heather, do you want to let me see if you're in here.
Okay, yes, I'm here. I'm opening up my screen and making sure I have things covered and opened in a way
Thank you.
that it can share. And in the meantime, I'm bringing that up, Keshe, and I'm so hearing what you're saying there. And before I even bring up my information, what you're saying is so huge. What I'm seeing when you're drawing that there is, you know, we are that. We're that Maghreb field, right? When you look at the Merkaba and a balanced masculine, feminine, energetic, you look at a balanced mental, emotional field, and a person that's, you know, come to a point where they're clear of all their limiting thoughts and beliefs, and they're just in that now moment. That's, you are that, right? As in inside, all the GANs that we are, all the nano that we are, outside our energetics and how our bands work that way, then you can receive what you need for balance, and you can release what you don't need.
Carry on.
Okay. So on the picture here, I'm, you know, creating 10 research packs to send out to my multidimensionally aware parents and children. And I was going to include some questions for them to give us some feedback on. And I wanted to see if I can show some pictures of the packs as well, but these are kind of the questions that I'm starting with. I was going to see if there was anything else that you were curious about that I should include on the questionnaire.
This questionnaire is very long, and we are about 20 past 5.
Okay.
We are running into. I will take your questions first on Thursday. Would that be good enough?
Yes, yes, I can still do that.
So, because I see things here which I would teach on Thursday, and then we'll explain your questions.
Okay, very good.
So, because you can see here a lot of things, there's a lot of questions. We can go for another 2 or 3 hours. And the way you speak, usually it'll take you months and months.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay. So we see you on Thursday, and your cat.
Definitely.
This is the preview then, a little teaser preview.
There we go.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like you want to wrap things up here, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, we're going for nearly 3.5 hours or so, and I have to attend another meeting. This is important to do a lot of things in the background. So we'll see what we can do, and I can see a lot of things you got here. We can talk a lot about. And this goes in conjunction with the systems and the materials which we are developing in China, in Japan.
Ah.
So we bring everything together, and this is part of the. We got to bring everything together to be done. I think we have pictures for the products from what do you call it, from Tokyo, which we can share with you Thursday too. Okay, thank you very much. Because your questions is too many, it'll take another 2 hours to finish it. Now we prefer to run a long term here on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take a nap
Thank you very much. See you Thursday morning.
I will be there. Beautiful.
No, I'll surely be there, I hope too. The process is that how much we can change and what we can bring about to change the situation. The what do you call it? Can I have my white screen back, please? The process of development from now on, we go into a new level of teaching. And this level brings us one level closer to be able to work with the pure plasma. Don't forget, pure plasma working, it means receiving and giving energy from no tangible condition, no tangible position. And that's what our ultimate goal is, to be able to do this. You will see the next step of development. A lot of you have developed a lot of technologies. Now we go to the next step, that you have understood what the next step is going to be and how we're going to change things. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope on Thursday we can add to knowledge more.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe. Full show today. Very good.
Thank you. Did I earn my pay or not?
No, I think you went overboard today once again. So we'll give you double pay for today.
Thank you very much. See you Thursday.
All right.
Don't forget, tomorrow is the last teaching day for the second group of the students who started last May in training. Now the year complete, so it's the second group of what I call new plasma scientists, where they finished the course, and we have the last meeting of teaching for a 1-year course which completes tomorrow, but then they can join in into a 3-year course. Thank you very much indeed.
Excellent.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye.
Once again, thank you everybody for attending. This is the 13th International Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Tuesday, April 12th, 2016. And thanks everyone, and we'll see you on Thursday or perhaps next week. Okay, we'll end the live